In this video, we'll start to look at comments. So what are comments? Remember, if we go back and set up a variable like dog age equals 3 or 5, then if I execute this, everything is taken into consideration. The number will be the value inside the variable, and the variable defined on the left, it will be the variable name that can use to call back this. Now, if I want to have some explanation around this, in Jupyter Notebook, I could use the markdown we've seen before, but in general, you will need comments. You'll need somewhere where you can write information for yourself or whoever will look at your code in the future, but do not get executed. So that's what a comment is. And you do it with a hash sign or the pound sign. So we got it just here, and we see the color is changing. And then I can write some text. Let's say this is the age of the dog, and I see everything is in a different color, all that piece. Why? Well, because this is a comment. And if I run it, then dog age is assigned and nothing changed. So it's not taken into consideration. If I didn't have this, obviously I would have an issue. I would have a syntax error because I suddenly have a lot of text that the computer tried to interpret. But if I put a comment, then everything is good. So the first way to comment is like this, with this symbol. Another way, it's not really meant for that, but it works if you want to do some multi-line comments, is to use the triple quote that we've seen before for strings. So I use this triple quote, and I can just write anything I want here. This is me assigning the age of the dog. I run that, and let's say change the values, and say I'm assigning it, and it works, right? I can just print dog age, and it's just working as if I didn't have the comment. So that's what comments are. That's a way to leave information in the code that the computer will technically not look at. It will delete everything, ignore everything when it's doing the interpretation of the code and do what will give you the output. Now, why do we want that? So comments are very, very important. When your code will get more complex, the only way, or one of the quickest way to understand your code, will be to look back at the comment. So we'll look at them again in future lecture when we'll have code a little bit more complex, but it's important to know already how they work, and you should get used to comment everything you do. What you want to do is not to comment what you're doing. I'll give you an example. So we got the dog age, and we spoke of the human age of the dog. Again, it's not best way to calculate the age, but we know it's one quick way. So we say it's the age of the dog multiplied by 7. Right? So that's the human age. Now, if I just do that, somebody could ask, hey, why are you doing it? So this is a bad comment. So the comment can be before the code, or it can be after the code. Would be weird to put it after the code, but technically it works. So you can put this sign anywhere, right? Just everything that will come after it, like if I put it here, then the 7 won't work, right? It won't be interpreted. So you can put it where you want. Now, what you want is to not do that and say, for instance, dog age is, or let's say human age. Human age is dog age by 7. Right? So this would be a really bad comment. Why? Because I don't need you to tell me that. It's just what I see below, right? I understand the code. If somebody is looking at the code, they probably understand most of the code itself by looking at it. So what you want in general is to not explain exactly what you're doing, but more why you're doing it. So here you could explain that basically, well, some people say that getting the human dog age is with a factor 7. So let's say to get the age of a dog in human year, you need to multiply it by 7. Right? So now I have an idea of what you're doing below. So it's good if it's a lot of code to actually explain, okay, what you will do, and explain several lines and say, I'm doing this, right? I'm creating this thing. We'll look at that later on when we'll have more code to actually comment on big chunk. But then what people will want to understand is why you did that, right? So like it's here, you're multiplicating by 7. It's not necessarily obvious to everybody why the dog on an age, the age of a dog should be multiplied by 7 to create a human age, right? So this example is easy, but in general, when you look at the code of somebody else, you'll have doubt on why they did something. And if there's no comment, then, well, it's going to be harder to understand. So that's it. That's for the comments. We'll look at them later on when we'll know more about function, if, loop, etc. On the next video, we'll start with our first project. I'm sure you will love them. So see you soon. Bye-bye.